Hey, hello guys. Oh, today is let me welcome first. Welcome to my sixth day of trading, and welcome to my second upload of this video, my second day of uploading this video. Um, Today is indeed a day of blunders on both sides. Many blunders, in fact. In my trading, I made some blunders, which I regret very much. But also in the recording, this is actually my third recording because for some reason my microphone was shut off in the first two, and I don't know why. I did not do this, but this is the case. So this is my third recording, and because I deleted the original video, the original recording of my trading, this is a comment on my comment. So I have to, where I skipped from frame to frame because I don't remember what I said when. It's very confusing. So right now we're just looking at the actually the second comment. The mouse that you can see right here on this screen moving around is actually from the second comment. Uh, I'm skipping all the way around. Let me start off with the watch list. In fact, let me pause this real quick. And if you look at my watch list here, how did I get this? I make this watch list new every day. And I find these stocks not by myself. That is pretty impossible with all the stocks. There are very few options on getting a scanner of stocks. I know there are some platforms, my platform here being Trade Zero. There are some platforms, other platforms, that offer stock scanning options. Trade Zero doesn't do that. So I have to rely on an external stock scanner. In fact, in my case, I am part of a chat room that is paid of experienced traders, and in that chat room, they post the watch list of stocks. They have stock scanners there that I use for my trading. So what I do is every morning before the market opens, I look at the stock scanner for any stocks that have risen beyond their previous day high. These stocks that have already risen before the market even opens have a very good potential of keeping rising. A very good potential to keep rising as soon as the market opens. So the first four stocks that are on my watch list here were from that particular scanner. And I kept them here to watch if they would continue as soon as the market opens. Now, the next five stocks you see are the stocks I traded or watched the day before, yesterday in today's case. I just want to keep watching them to see if they keep up their momentum, if they have some action going on today as well. And then the last ones were in the current ongoing momentum scanner, where the scanner checks for stocks that are rising in this moment, and I just put them there. So anyway, that's basic information done. Let me do the introduction of today's trading. I'd had 3 trades, and in fact, well, 4 trades altogether. All 4 of them red, and there are some good sides to that. I learned quite a bit, and also I already used some of the lessons I've learned in the previous days on my last 2 trades and on my first 2 trades, which I didn't end up taking. We'll go into that later. But the second trades, the first 2 trades that I made, the second stock I was watching, I made a big blunder. Before I get into that, let me start with the 2 stocks that I didn't trade at the very beginning. They were, in fact, TTNP and RAND. And if you remember from the previous video, I said it's always risky to trade in the first 10 minutes of market opening. Yesterday I did that. I did start trading in the market opening and I lost. So today I was tempted to go into these stocks as they, as expected, did start rising very quickly just out in as the market opened. However, they rose for about 2 seconds, 20 cents in 2 seconds, and then they started fading. I was tempted to buy, but I didn't end up buying, and I'm very grateful because they never recovered and they just kept fading further down. So that was a good lesson, where a good thing, where I actually didn't fall into the trap of trading something right off the bat, which usually is very risky in the first few minutes of market opening. And in my experience, it doesn't go well. So today I saved myself the pain and the embarrassment of losses, and just refrained from buying, which is good. However, then started the bad news. Then I started watching this trade here. Now I'm so stupid. I don't remember when I started talking about this one. Can I quickly move? Are there any hotkeys on going increase speed? Is it going faster now? It is going faster. This is not helping though. I'm sorry. This is not very smart. Still talking about these. Okay. I thought it would be easier to do it this way, but I guess I was wrong. Wow, I talked for a long time in the previous video. You guys are lucky that I'm summing up my lessons today. That was too far, wasn't it? Here we go. Here we go. Now I'm where I want to be. Okay, so then after not taking the first few trades at 9:44 the US market time, I started watching this stock, ABCO. ABCO had not originally been on my watch list. It just popped up really suddenly in the chat room that I'm following. As you can see, if you look at the 1 minute chart, in just 4 minutes, 3 minutes in fact, it rose from just under $4 all the way to $4.49, which is a very, very quick rise. And I had just opened all this information had just loaded, and I was watching it, and then this happened. I'm sorry, let me go back so you can see what just happened. I don't know if everyone saw it. Look here at the 1 minute chart. Go there. This happened in just one blink of an eye. It rose another 60 cents. I'm sorry, from 49 to 509. 60 cents in that quick amount of time. And when I saw this, as soon as I saw this, I wanted to get in on that. So I hit my buying hotkeys, Alt for buying and 1 for 100 shares, and nothing happened. And I was wondering, okay, why is nothing happening? This is very strange. But then I realized, here, all this list of all the trades is red. All the recent trades is red. That means this stock has been halted going up. It was rising too quickly. There I am. It was rising too quickly in too short of a time frame, and then the exchange that it's on stops all trade on that particular stock to give traders a little bit of time to reassess the situation, look at the chart again, look at the prices again, and just give them a little bit of time to decide what they want to do. So the order I set didn't come through, and it ended up being halted for 10 minutes. Then as it resumed, here we go, it rises very quickly to 570, and in that moment at 570 I do buy I do buy at 573. I buy 100 shares, and it rises to 587 and then gets halted again. It is halted again on the next circuit breaker halt. So now these stocks usually get halted. Actually, let me say this thing. Usually when a stock rises up quickly and gets halted in a circuit breaker halt, the chance of it resuming higher up is quite high. So it usually is really good to get into those. These are great opportunities for trading. As we can see here, if I had gotten in on that first green candle before the circuit breaker halt, I would have been very well off, because I would have gotten in before 5, maybe at 470 or something, and then it would have risen to 580. So I would have been up $1. Now I don't know if I could have sold in that time frame. That's a pretty quick time frame that it rose to this level, just a couple of seconds before it. I'm sorry, my throat is a little bit off. It got halted again, so I don't know if there had been enough time, if there would have been enough time. These stocks, when they're halted for 5, 10, or 15 minutes. And I, for one, never know how long it's going to be. I'm sure there's some kind of indicator, but at least on this platform, I don't see that kind of indicator. So I was holding this stock after buying it at 573. I was up 14 cents, so I was in the plus, in the green, but I had to wait for it to resume again. No, yeah, here I am going to the level where it's going to resume. You see it resuming immediately, and immediately it rises to a high of 614, super fast. As soon as I see this, I hit my sell button, my sell hotkey, and I set out an order at 591. However, it doesn't get filled. I just missed the right window, the right selling window, and now I was holding 100 shares of this particular stock, and I was in the red, and it was halted going down. And just as a stock has a good likelihood of resuming higher after a upwards circuit breaker halt, the chance of it resuming lower is also quite high in a downwards downward circuit breaker halt. So this is what's happening. Now I was sitting in the red, and I could not sell because it was halted again, and I was waiting for it to resume. To make things short, I don't know. I'm still talking about this here. Let me see. Oh, let me see where it is. Oh, yeah, here, I can talk about this. As you can see, it got halted after quite some time, 10 minutes. Sorry, it resumed after quite some time, after 10 minutes, and it ended up dropping quite far down. I ended up selling at 466 at more than $100 loss. I was very frustrated, and I kept watching it, and that was just in this red candle is when I sold. Sorry, if you look at the chart here, it was this red candle in which I sold, and after this it started rising again, and just about here, just up until here, let me put it down so it's not in the way, the cursor. I was seeing that maybe an ABCD pattern was forming. There was a high of this candle at around 520, and an ABCD pattern means that it, after a drop and a slow rise again, it rises to almost this level, or this level, but not further. It retraces a little bit again. So this is A, this one would be B, then the almost retraceable is C. It goes down, and then it rises back up, and that's D. And usually what you expect on the second rising, that it will break that level and continue higher up. So this was my plan. I planned to wait for this to get to B go down, retrace a little bit, and then buy at the second retracing. However, in the very first short rise back up, it broke that level. It broke the previous level of 525 or 520, and it got to a high of, I believe, 540. And I hit the buy button again. This was FOMO. I was just letting my emotions, my hand, go before my brain could process, and I hit the buy button and I bought this again, and it ended up fading away again. So then I tried selling in around here. My sell order didn't get filled. So then as it was falling again, as it started fading, I sold the remainder of my position, or like my second position, for another $40 loss. Very frustrating. Now let's move on. See where I go next. This was, so anyway, as you can see, so this was my first trade, my first two trades, and my second potential stock that I was watching. And this is the big bad news. I lost $150 on this one. Moving on to the next one. I was explaining that. Yeah, MBOT, exactly. What is this? Why am I here? MBOT. Pause. Then after some time, I was looking at this particular stock, MBOT. If we look at the chart, it had formed this zigzag pattern with higher lows and slightly higher highs. So the previous high of day had been 10.25, and I was watching it around 10.15, 10.20 for a possible break of this level. It ended up breaking it briefly, and it went to a high of 10.30. And as it retraced back a little, I thought, okay, let me try to buy this and trade this a little bit and make some profit on this one as it was breaking the high of day. Since this had been a former runner, right? This is also something that I didn't mention on AVCO. AVCO had a let me say it this way. AVCO has a history of making sharp rises, and just 3 days ago it had made a jump almost from $4 all the way to $13. So there was potential for this happening again, but it didn't. Okay, back to MBOT. I'm sorry for my digressing. Here we are, and it had just broken this level, MBOT, of previous high of day 1025, and I was waiting for a short retracing, and I wanted to buy in the 1015, 1017 range, and I did buy in this range using my hotkeys, but my order got filled at 1020, which is a bit higher than I wanted. So after it was going down again from 1020, I sold immediately for a $4 loss because I just didn't want to hold it at such a high level. It ended up, maybe I can go to another chart. This AVCO, as you can see, AVCO faded afterwards, and this is the rise I was mentioning before, from $4 all the way to $13. I was hoping for something like this happening again. It didn't, however, so no, that's yet something else. MBOT, here we go. Sorry, again, I want to make this as live as possible to really show you the moments that I'm facing decisions and how I deal with that, because I believe that's one of the biggest things in trading, and today I just can't provide that because of my technical mishaps. Anyway, as I was watching MBOT and I had sold my previous bag of 100 shares that I bought a little bit too high, I didn't want to make that mistake again, and I kept watching, and it kept floating just around that level of 1025, 1028. So I was watching for it to get back there, and as it hit a level of 1010, 1015 again, instead of using my hotkeys to take a risk of taking a little bit too high trade again, I used level 2 here, the level 2 window, to put the price that I wanted to pay, 1012, and to put my order of 100 shares. Now this one did get filled at 1012, and it rose briefly again, but I didn't manage to sell in time, and then it just started fading slowly, and I sold at 1003 for another $8 loss. Now, as you can see, that was just in time, because pretty much right after I sold that, it made a heavy drop, $1 drop, all the way down, almost all the way down to $9. And God am I happy that I missed that one. It did recover a little bit, but not too much, and kept retracing, fading away, I mean. Now, where is that? Oh, yeah. Okay, cool. So that was my trade. That was my trades today. So what I'm happy about, what I'm happy about on my last trades, even though I lost on both, I actually managed my risk very well. Go away. I actually managed my risk really well. I instead of holding something for too long until it keeps falling, I sold right quickly, and I was actually doing this on an upward scale, and I bought not in a sudden rush up, but rather I waited for a slow retracing to buy a little bit lower to see if it goes high up to that level again. And this risk management was a lot better than what I had done before. So I'm very happy that I didn't take too much of a loss on this one, even though it didn't end up winning me anything either. Okay, last point on my schedule that I really want to talk about is my platform, Trade Zero. Now, what you can see here, what you can see here is the browser-based version of this. There is a software where you can imagine this one in a window, and you can spread the window across several monitors, and you can have as many charts and level 2 windows as you want open in that software, which is very useful. If you have several monitors, you can put one chart here, or one set of charts here, another set of charts in another on another monitor, and then just keep watching several stocks at the same time, which would increase your like my timing. Now I unfortunately don't have a second monitor, so there's no point for me to use that. The software-based version is a little bit more expensive. It costs $79 per month. This one, window browser-based version, costs $59. But it's much better than the free version. The free version doesn't have these level 2 windows, which is a big detriment if you want to really analyze the stock action. So for day trading, it is absolutely necessary to have these 2 windows to be able to react quite quickly and react at the right level, not just to buy, but also to buy at the right level. Okay, good. That is it. That was take 3 of this video. I believe I saved some time, so that is good for you. Let me check that though before I promise something wrong. Well, I saved 2 minutes. Anyway, that's it. That's it for today. I'm coming back on Monday, and I'm gonna go to my weekend now. Now I don't know what day it is where you are right now, but I wish you a good rest of the day, and I'll hopefully see you in my next video. Goodbye.